Today we're tuning Tony Kim's 2005 Evo 8 mods that were on the car before we started playing with it. Today we had HKS 280 cams, we had an SMC Meth kit that uses denatured alcohol, we had a Helix 2 3/4 inch exhaust, we had a ETS 3.5 inch front mount and intercooler piping, the standard route piping, and MA Performance O2 dump. So today what we were going to add to this already potent combo, it's been able to travel 117 miles an hour. We added an FP Black, an English Racing Speed Density Kit, and an FIC 950 injectors. Then obviously it's on the dyno. We just got done retuning the car. So common question is, why should I run methanol or some form of alcohol injection? What are the pros, what are the cons? So the obvious pros are, it helps extend our fuel system because we're spraying more fuel in there than the car would normally have. The next one, and probably the single most advantageous reason to do it, is because the octane. Now most people are going to run methanol injection. Tony has chosen to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to explain why I think that's a good mod. Is he's actually running denatured alcohol. Denatured alcohol is a little bit of ethanol with a bunch of isopropyl alcohol in it and a little bit of methanol in it, just enough to keep you from drinking it. The obvious advantages are, because it's alcohol without the corrosive properties, the methanol pump is going to last for a long time. He's running either an M8 or an M10 jet. We couldn't quite remember. It's been a little bit. But because of the quantity that he's running, we're actually able to extend that octane limit quite a long ways. Today we were pushing 29 pounds with almost E85 timing. We were running 16 degrees out the top, which is fairly aggressive, but it was knock free. I tried 17, but it was kind of on the border, so we pulled it back a bit. So now, of all the things that we can put in the meth tank, we talked about the methanol, the denatured alcohol. If you wanted to, you could put E85 in it. My opinion is, if you're going to put E85 in it, you might as well put that in the motor, but we could do that. You could even run race gas if you want to help keep that pump living. Basically, we're just using it for the extra octane. So now the cons. If we use a corrosive fuel like methanol, where if we're using 100%, that pump really only has a 2-year lifespan that's safe. It could fail before that, it might go forever. But if it does that, you're left with a car that's running really high boost, really high timing, and is very, very lean to make up for the extra fuel. So running non-corrosive fuel is going to help eliminate that as a possibility. In this case, Tony's been running on that pump for 4 years. That's exceptional. He hasn't had one issue, which is what we want. Stock block car, it's going to pitch rods really, really fast if something goes wrong. So that's about the only con that I can see. Obviously, you have to stay on top of it. You know, it is a separate fuel system, so you don't really have a gauge. You have to pop the trunk and look. But other than that, it's a good alternative to not having E85 or not wanting to spend $18 a gallon for race gas. So one thing that we ran into today on Tony's car that doesn't really get talked about too much is boost creep. Tony has a 2-liter, he has the O2 dump, and he has an FP Black. What we have is a really efficient combo that normally one would think that it runs whatever boost we set it at. Because the cylinder head's working well, everything's working well together. Tony is running 18 pounds down low, as you'll see in the dyno sheet, but the car creeps to 28 pounds by a red line. It gives us a power band that is often described as a Honda power band, where it's very peaky. The advantage is on a stock motor, it will keep the torque down so that we're not going to run into broken parts, but at the same time, it doesn't give us that aggressive putting you in the seat feel. The cure is we have to port the turbo. And it's not just a standard port job to open up for flow. We have to do a lot to direct flow into the wastegate to help limit the amount of creep. We didn't do it on this particular turbo. That was a slight oversight. But even doing that, the minimum we can get it to run is 25 pounds. For Tony's car, what the solution is going to be, not today, a little bit down the road, we're going to put a 3-port boost controller on the car. What that'll allow us to do is we'll be able to get the boost up, down low where we want it, and still keep it down out the top. Tony's car ran a minimum of 26.7 pounds with the boost creep. Problem is, every time I turned the boost controller up, the creep went up the same amount. So we went up 2 pounds down low, well, we got 2 more pounds out the top. We ended up making 487 horse peak today. which was a little bit more than Tony was hoping for, so I'm assuming he's happy about that. But we were able to keep the torque down to 347 foot-pounds, which is more than safe enough on the stock line there. So in summary, today we were able to add about 100 horsepower to what Tony had been making. He was 370, 380, so now we're 480. Hopefully his traps go from 117, which was his best. We're hoping for some mid-120s. Really though, for the combination, the stock cylinder head, stock intake manifold, I'm very, very happy about the power it made. This kind of goes, what we've been talking about over the course of the last couple videos is that running the O2 dump on stock appearing turbos is 100% gain. It just keeps adding power by reducing back pressure. Obviously force performance makes some crazy turbos that make power for days. If this was a built motor, pump meth, you know, we might push the boost a little bit more. It really needs to rev higher from what we're seeing. This motor probably wants 85, 8800 as it is, even on the stock intake manifold because of how it's making the power. I think Tony has a really good combo. Much like TJ's car, we have a lot of parts that are working well together. We don't have mismatched mods. So if you take anything away from this video today, it's think about the combination. Combination is everything. Just because you have the biggest cams or you have the biggest turbo or you might have speed density, if everything doesn't match together, you're not going to get the results you're looking for. Tony's is another example of a well-balanced build that he can use on the street, get good mileage, take to the track, and whoop on some Z06s.